Good morning, welcome to today's video. It's Sunday, should say that. I just got back from the gym. I did 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. Felt so hard today, I don't know why. I mean, it's always difficult, but I was just struggling, but I made it the full 30 minutes. Came home, made my smoothie, and we should have an electrician here, the same guy who changed out all of our other light fixtures. He should be here, I think, around 9, so like literally kind of any minute now, to change out our entry chandelier. We have had that for a long time. I mentioned that a couple of videos ago. But yeah, he said he just didn't have time for it at the time he was here doing all these. It's a bigger chandelier, so it's just gonna be a little bit more time consuming. So we should be here today to do that. And I think Chris and I are gonna try to put the first coat of primer. We need to still do our handrails. So I wanna try to start to do that. If we don't do that today, we'll do that sometime this week. I wanna get those started, but my mom is also coming over because this wall, so if you've been following since we moved in, we painted every single room in this house. Basically, within the first week we got the keys. We didn't move in until 2 weeks after because we also had the floors redone, but we had the house for a week before the floor people came, or something like that. Maybe a little less than a week. I think the floor people took like a week and a half, maybe, whatever. We did all of the painting in that time frame, but the only room we didn't paint was the main area. So the entry, the hallway, the great room, the main living space we didn't paint because we thought it was close enough to what we wanted. There was also a couple like touch-up spots that my mom was like, oh, I can fix those. This looks like whatever gray it was. And we do think it's that color. It might be like a different, blanking on the term, like a different finish. So regardless, you can see this one spot. I'll show you if you can't see it now. I don't think you can. So we need to repaint that anyway. And since we got the cabinets redone, the counter, like since everything else is done, this main area just looks a little bit more taupey tan to me compared to everything. So we're gonna do a lighter gray color. It's called Drift of Mist. I'm very excited. All of the colors we use are from Sherwin-Williams. I'll list those down below again. I put those in the original, like we bought a house vlog. I will list those down below because I do get a lot of questions about paint colors in my office and our bedroom, like all of them. So I'll have those listed down below. But yeah, we're gonna do Drift of Mist in here. It's more gray, a little bit lighter, so it should just brighten this whole area up a little bit. And I'm very excited. We're only gonna start with this wall because my mom just got back from Colorado and obviously like she has a full-time job too, so we're just gonna try to knock it out today and the weekends, next weekend, just kind of pick away at it. She will do most of the rolling and I'm gonna do a lot of the trim work. But yeah, we're starting with this wall today and then the guy is gonna hang the chandelier for us. I'm really excited to see that because that's the only light fixture left on the main floor from the original owners, and it's once again still that like very gold look. Obviously we're going more modern farmhouse, black, white, gray. Very excited. It's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna drink my smoothie. After he gets here, I'm probably gonna shower because I'm disgusting from the Stairmaster. And yeah, take you along, show you how it goes. Hopefully it looks great. I'm so excited. Clearly a different color, but that's okay. We're gonna fix this. My mom got here with all of her ladders. We got this one set up. It actually turns out it was good that we didn't do the handrails yet because we're gonna paint or trim all of this today. Well, hopefully we can get all the way around to there, but we're gonna do that. We have to move all of this out to like where that is basically. Is that a mouse? Yeah. So here we go. Hi, doggos. Mixie. Hi. Hi. behind me for sure. JOJO's chocolate, at least I think that's what this is, and then I believe we got our questions back. That's been one of my favorite snacks recently, and Chris too. Oh yeah. Look at all the chocolate! Ghost Hawaiian's my favorite, been my favorite for a while, then raspberry, and then the original I think, and then I got peanut butter as well. I met my dad at Home Depot, and we got planters for our front. Like I mentioned, we've been so focused on the inside, we haven't done much on the outside yet. So it's a little late in the season to be doing planters, but we can do fall ones to start, it's fine. Oh yeah. Let's see if he got my regular ones. Oh, that's for him. We got sour cream and onion. Gotta put those in the pantry. Sour cream and onion. Hopefully a loaded taco. Spicy sweet chili. And loaded taco. I dislike Quest bars so much, and I'm not a big fan of anything Quest except for their chips. And the chip game, they're crushing it. The macros are unbelievable. Super high protein, low everything else. All right, now I have to rearrange this outside. We're almost done. Almost. We have, this is the second coat up here. My mom just finished the second coat downstairs.
Except for one wall.
Or, sorry, yeah, the first coat.
No,
do you do the second coat?
It's all two coated except for that one wall that won't dry. And we're done except for that one wall.
I can't have this extender on here with this wall here, so I just took it off. And I touched it. Where did I touch it? How do you think it's looking?
It looks great.
Noticeably brighter, for sure. Now they're happy. Yeah, we got Bibi Bop the first night, Piata last night, Bibi Bop again tonight. We got cauliflower rice, noodles, very good. See? It'll hit it. And I need more paint. We've almost gone through a full 5 gallons.
I hope you will just have this
That was real. That wasn't.
That was fun. I'm like, what are you doing?
I did not mean to do that.
That was gonna be it for the video. All the paint turned out really good. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. However, there was a lot of questions I got on Instagram about painting, whether that was trimming. I don't know, there was a bunch of questions. So I put a little comment box on Instagram, and my mom's gonna answer some questions in a little bit. So if you're interested in that, you can hang around. If not, thank you so much for watching. Super happy with how it turned out. It definitely brightened up this area. And yeah, she had to come back today for the second coat on just one of the walls because it wasn't dry enough to do yesterday. Most of the questions are about trimming. I put a little like time lapse of me trimming without tape, and then I showed that there was no bleed lines.
Right.
And I learned it from you.
Yeah.
So let's make sure so what's the technique for painting without tape? Show no tape technique. What color did you use? Drift of Mist from Sherwin-Williams.
Drift of Mist.
I don't know if anyone asked this, but I thought it was interesting last night, what kind of paint because I got a lot of questions about the railing as well.
Oh, yeah.
So what paint do you use on the wall versus on the railing?
Yeah. So on the wall, you use an eggshell finish or a satin finish, normal wall paint. I use Sherwin-Williams. Usually, well, the paint that we got was cashmere. It's a Sherwin-Williams brand. And then we used flat in here because in a 2-story area, flat will cover up a lot of wall imperfections that contractors leave way up high.
Yeah.
So we used flat so that it could sort of give a warmer feel. And then, but you could also use eggshell or satin finish depending
That's the
on
one
the
that
product.
you said better for like fingerprints.
Yeah, if you don't want any fingerprints on anything, you would want to use a satin or an eggshell.
Okay. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then also about the railings.
Yeah, but the railings, some people have a misconception that you can paint baseboards and railings and cabinets or whatever you want with wall paint. But railings, cabinets, baseboards, anything that's going to get a lot of wear and tear and bunked into with vacuum cleaners and all that kind of stuff.
It needs to be like hardier.
Yeah, you use if you're going from wood to a color, like we did on the railings, you use a product called Extreme Bond Primer, which is unavailable in the country right now, which is thus why I shipped a gallon home from Colorado.
She was like, after you're done painting your handrails, I'm taking that primer with me. I'm like, that's fine. We won't need it, obviously.
Yeah. I pre-purchased like 3 gallons of that primer, and I had a couple gallons of leftover primer, and then there was some left at your house, and there was almost an entire gallon left in Colorado from when we did Brian's kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what someone asked if she was like, do we need a sand? Like, you don't sand any of it down. That's what the primer takes place of all that, right?
The right primer.
Yeah.
So Extreme Bond Primer from Sherwin-Williams, which again is not available right now because of Sherwin-Williams shortages.
Yeah.
But that's the primer that we used, Extreme Bond Primer that gets 1 coat. And then I use a product from Sherwin-Williams called Emerald Urethane, which is a real hard finish trim paint. And if you do it with the right product, like we use the little blue foam rollers that have like almost like a little velour fuzz on them.
Yeah, they're like super smooth looking. But yeah, that's what you would use on cabinets and on those.
After you brush. So what I typically do is I'll brush it on and then take the little roller to
We literally, she was
out.
like, you're like going at it with both hands the whole time. You like paint a little bit. Because after you do the this is what terrified me, because I'm like, you got to show me, because you put it on, it looks horrible. Like it doesn't look like, but it doesn't need to look good because you're going to paint over it.
It's very sheer. What it does is it actually creates a surface that the paint can bond to. That's why
it's like a matte.
Extreme Bond Primer. Yeah. So you don't have to sand anything. You just paint over the shellacked cabinets or whatever. Like we did the railings. You just paint over that, it creates a bond, and then the paint adheres directly to it, and then you need at least minimum of 2 coats of the emerald urethane.
That was super fun.
Yeah, and in some cases 3 coats, depending on,
I get, the no tape technique.
Yeah, so the no tape technique. For trimming comes from a real steady hand. So the reason people use tape to begin with is to get a straight line, but the problem with using tape, especially if you don't understand how tape works, because if you put too much paint along the tape line, you're going to get bleeds anyway. And then people trust the tape thinking they don't have bleeds, and then they let it sit there forever, and they pull the tape off and they've got bleeds everywhere that are now petrified onto what. Yeah. So if you're going to use tape, if you need to use tape, then you put the tape on and you make sure it's tight, really tight with your finger before you're going to paint.
And don't go in with like big globs.
Right, and that's what I was just going to say. Then what you do is you go in with a dry brush and you go along the tape line, and you won't have any bleeds that come up under that because it sort of seals, and then when you go back over it, you can use a little bit more paint.
Yeah.
But for me, once I once I got really good at hand trimming, it's cheaper because you don't have to use the tape.
Way less time consuming.
Cleaner, less time consuming. It's cleaner because if you do make a little blurb or whatever, if you make a little screw up, you just take a wet rag and wipe it up, or you take a straight edge with a paper towel and...
Yeah, well that's what I was telling people. They're like, what are you doing? Like, this makes me so nervous just watching. I'm like, My mom taught me how to do this. It's way easier. Like when you first get started, it's like, oh God, I'm gonna mess it up. But it is true, if you make a little mistake, just a wet rag takes it off immediately.
Yeah.
And then you can fix it. I was trying to explain too to a couple people who messaged me, like you kind of start like out away from the edge and you like get the bristles positioned how you want them and then you like drag it into it.
Yeah. And it's all sort of, for me, it's the angle. Like when I'm trimming baseboards, which I do with no tape as well.
That's why they saw me going like down.
Yeah, I'll be like turned upside down because the angle that the brush sits, when you get the bristles just at the right angle along the edge, you're gonna see the straight line start and then you just keep following it along.
Yeah.
My problem is when I'm trimming, I don't breathe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I'm focused so hard and then all of a sudden I'm like,
But yeah, like dragging it in, and someone asked also about doing the ceiling, and that's the same thing. I feel like the ceiling's easier. The ceiling
is the same thing. It's easier when there's that groove, and anybody who's done any painting at the ceiling, most contractors leave this like little groove that's at the top from the wall to the ceiling. I don't know why they do it, but it actually makes it easy because you trim up into the groove a little bit. And if you do have a straight line, then you need to do what Kelly was saying as far as like positioning your brush in there, but you don't go right up into the line. You go a little bit back from the line and then get your bristles pushed in a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
The best brush to do trimming with.
So my most favorite brush, again, I'm a Sherwin-Williams girl, so I get the contractors.
Literally since I was a baby. Like she's like, okay, I was Sherwin-Williams. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, 24 years of Sherwin-Williams. I use their contractor series, it's called. It's got like a blue wrapper and it's the contractor series and it's a Sherwin-Williams product. I use a 2.5 inch sash, which means it's a 2.5 inch wide brush and it's got an angled bristles. That's what's called the sash. Yeah. And I also use the one that has the smaller pointed handle just because it's easier for my hands to hold.
Tips for cutting in at the top and bottom of the wall, that's trimming. Favorite paint and tools for painting interior doors. That would just be the same as what
we were talking about. Yeah, so interior doors, you need to use Extreme Bond Primer, 1 coat, 2 coats of Emerald Urethane. I used to use Pro Classic all the time, both of which again are Sherwin-Williams products. But the Emerald Urethane doesn't have as much sag. So what sag is when you put it on, like with a wall paint, so this is the other difference between wall paint to trim paint because it's got a much harder finish. The trim paint actually has more flow to it. So when you put it on, as you would a wall paint, you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, this looks really good, it's nice and smooth. And then you turn away and you look back and 30 seconds later there's drips coming down the wall because the trim paint is made differently. It has more sag to it.
Got it.
So Pro Classic, which is a great product, I literally used it for like 21 years. You have to police it. You just have to keep going back to be sure that there are no drips, and if there are, you wipe them out.
Yeah.
The Emerald Urethane, which since I've tried it, I have never gone back to Pro Classic. It has a little less sag, it has a really hard finish, and it's really easy to use. And I use that same brush I just described, and then I use these little blue foam rollers that have like a velvety velour kind of fuzz on them. To give it gives a spray finish, so you're not going to have brush strokes if you go over it with that roller for doors. That's what I use.
I'll record when we do the handrails again because we still have to prime those, so I'll show how that looks because it really, you think you've messed, I thought I messed it up when I first put it on. I'm like, this isn't right. She's like, no, it looks great. I'm like,
yeah, it's really sheer. It actually does some sort of, I don't know the science behind it, but there's some sort of chemical reaction that happens between the paint and the surface that you're putting on.
Oh no, you can tell the paint's gonna bond to it after you put it on.
It's almost like
so
scratchy.
Much, it's almost like you did sand it. I mean, it has that like, it's gonna attach to it. This isn't about painting. Where's our bedroom set from? Pottery Barn. Yeah, I think that was mainly it. There was a lot of trimming stuff.
Yeah. Well, it does save a ton of money and it saves a ton of time. I mean, and I just feel like it's easier to clean up too, especially if somebody, I lovingly refer to it as a homeowner project because people who haven't done it before think, oh, I'm so excited to do this. And then they get frustrated because they end up with a bigger mess than what they started with. And then they don't think they can go back and clean it up, and you just have to clean it up.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would get offended by that. It's like anyone who is a professional at anything, when someone else is like, no, I'll just do it. You're like, okay, good luck.
Yeah. See how that goes.
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I will, once again, I'll show the handrails it's also been a minute since we've done that, but I'll show those. Do I get those?
You'll have to get
there?
I have actually 4 packs of them waiting for me right now at the Avery Road store because I need them for the job. I'm doing a whole house of.
She's doing an entire
house. Trim, doors, door jambs, windows, everything that's wood is going white.
She's been doing it for 2 weeks already.
Yeah, this is the 3rd week. Yeah.
Crazy. But anyway, thank you so much for helping.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you guys have any other questions, comment down below. I'll let you know when the video goes live, so if there's any questions, she can answer them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just a lot of questions. I posted the no tape thing.
It's funny, what are you doing? There's no tape.
So I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna have all the paint colors we used listed down below because I got a lot of questions about that. Was the Drift of Mist on the same palette as all of these?
No, Drift of Mist is on a different color stick. But
Sherwin-Williams.
They're all Sherwin-Williams, like, go figure. But Drift of Mist is a really awesome color that blends in with both color sticks. If you go to the Sherwin-Williams deck and you either go to the Worldly Gray or Repose Gray, Drift of Mist is a really great complement to both of those entire sticks.
Yeah.
Drift of Mist. I think it's 9166. I could be wrong. Something like that.
Been doing this for a long time. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. She's also going to be at our meetup.
Yay! I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So, see you later.